Hi, my name is Gio, and I teach music at a middle school in the Fordham section of the Bronx. At the beginning of the 2019 school year, yes, the year of the pandemic, I teamed up with an organization called Music and the Brain, which provides equipment, curricula, and other resources for teaching piano, keyboard. While these resources are all excellent, they are mostly designed and targeted to elementary age students. I started to see that some of my middle school students were disengaged. Even if they showed interest in learning the piano and or learning to read music notation, they weren't necessarily gripped by Mary Had a Little Lamb and Ode to Joy. So I wanted to provide yet another resource for them, a songbook that would include songs that they themselves wanted to learn. It could be popular songs, hip hop, TikTok memes, you name it. Well, they name it. I literally asked them, what song would you like to learn by the end of the school year? Then I created what I call the digital songbook. It's a Google Slides presentation that features their song choices at 3 levels of difficulty. Students can choose songs to play that they truly want to learn in a format and level of difficulty that is appropriate for their skill and ability level. They'll have more intrinsic motivation to learn their own favorite songs, and I can make sure that they are meeting standards, improving their reading ability and piano technique. If I teach a lesson on, say, Mary Had a Little Lamb, and the class is working on this assignment, but you have that one student who learns very quickly or is disengaged with the lesson or playing assignment, they can work on one of these songs as an alternative. For each song, I determine what is an essential element. The melody, chords, a synth line that can also fit on a single slide, often as little as 8 measures of music. I also consider the easiest way that a piece can actually be played on a piano keyboard, or even more restrictive, on Soundtrap's virtual keyboard, which for most of my students is necessarily controlled by their computer keyboards. These restrictions sometimes require that I transpose the piece to a key that is easier to play, either the left-hand part or right-hand part, but oftentimes the restrictions preclude playing with both hands at the same time. I then notate the music in Finale or another music notation software and import it into the digital songbook as its own slide, sometimes with additional notes. The difficulty of each arrangement is determined according to a rubric that considers rhythm, technique, and reading ability / theoretical knowledge. Songs are then categorized as level 1, 2, or 3, with 3 being the most challenging. I have only a few songs for each level so far, and I haven't added nearly as many songs as I would like or requested by my students. When viewed as a Google Slides presentation, it's rather easy to navigate. However, due to COVID restrictions precluding our use of actual piano keyboards, I did run into a technical issue with concurrent use of the digital songbook with virtual keyboards such as that found in Soundtrap. I resolved this by placing the digital songbook and the virtual keyboards in separate browser windows and then changing the window sizes, each to about half the screen size, and finally placing them side by side. It's not ideal, but it's the best I could do given the circumstances. Of course, if COVID protocols allow for piano keyboard in the 2021-22 school year, this shouldn't be an issue. You would just need a way to prop up your students' computer devices above the keyboard so that they can use them together. I plan to use standard music stands myself. Another option might be to simply print copies of all the songs and keep them in a binder that students can access. Speaking of accessibility, this is why I love that it's a Google Slides presentation. Literally anyone with the link can access it. Not just my students, but potentially other teachers and their students as well. I would love to have other music teachers collaborate with me to really build out the catalog and make this a more sustainable, engaging, and culturally responsive resource for the next generation of music students in New York City.